So you understand that?
Yes.
Because there was one time I can't remember who it was, but she was like, I expect my man to come to bed every night. And I was like,
no.
I work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like if you really dating somebody, especially if they're trying to get a business off the ground, right? You know where I'm at, like year 2, year 3. Sometimes you're gonna be working till 4 to 5 in the morning. You know about that, 6 in the morning.
Yes.
And you started at 5 in the morning.
Be tired.
Right? Sometimes it's about more than manifesting. You got to do the work.
My life now, like, trying to be more intentional.
Yeah.
Like, even before we ate, I was like, all right, let me get a couple pictures. Come outside, take these pictures real quick so I can get this over with. Like, and then I can enjoy the rest of my day. Like, I'm done.
So you work a lot is what you're saying?
Intentionally.
Can you?
But I set a time. I set a timer
too. Bring it down too.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I work a lot, but I set intentions behind it, and I kind of like put a time limit on it.
Yeah.
So like I just took a quick snap. I'm done. Like that's all I'm doing for this part of my day. That's it.
How does that work as far as maybe I should intro the pod.
Oh. Why does that always happen? We be like having a whole legit conversation.
I think it's just at some point you're like, all right, we've been talking for a while. Let me hit record. Oh. You know? But you know, let's kick this off the right way. You may have been feeling down, but you're now listening to the Keep It Uplifting podcast with your host Uplifting, and I have Rich Auntie back again, and we are talking about fun topics, man. Yes. We're gonna expand this podcast a little bit. We're talking about Rich Auntie being a pretty busy woman and how that affects her relationships as far as standards and time. So let's just get into it, man. So
okay, cool. All right, so
how does you being busy like that affect your relationships? Because I just want to let you all know, we were supposed to do this podcast 10 years ago. Okay, I got a message. I called early.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, and there's no shade either. So
no, it's none taken because I'm fully accountable. Like, and I also was like, oh damn, let me text him like in the midst of like doing stuff. Like literally, I didn't take a shower today till 3:00 because I've been cooking all day.
I mean, you're a busy person, but when I talked to you, you hit like 7 stores while we were on the phone. And our 15-minute conversation turned into a long conversation, but we definitely tackled a bunch of things. Yeah,
you ran errands with me.
I got Starbucks and everything, y'all, via Rich Auntie. But
yes,
again, you are a busy person. How does that work with you trying to be out here in the dating field?
So first of all, I want to say, if there's any rich uncles out there looking for a rich auntie, DM me.
So you are single?
I'm very single and very mingling. Auntie outside, okay?
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'm dating, but I'm dating with intentions and very purposeful. Like, I'm not dating just to be like, oh, it's cute. Like, I'm not that girl that's out here like, oh, I'm going on a date for the free meal. I'm not priced for the free meal. My time is very precious. Like, literally, like you heard, you just like, I be having things to do. Like, and the crazy thing about it right now is like, I just quit my full-time job. So
yeah, but you're still getting money. Let people know.
Yeah.
But like, oh my gosh.
But I did that intentionally. Like this year has been like very stressful for me. So I quit and was like, I'm gonna give myself the holidays to kind of like chill, whatever. Right. I got me a little part-time job, you know.
Right. And you running a business at the same time too. So
exactly. I still have a full-time business that I run. Right. So, you know, I did that. I was like, I'm gonna give myself a break during the holidays and I'm gonna get back to it beginning of the year. But even though I don't work my 9 to 5, I feel like I'm more busy now. Right.
You have time to do all of the things that you probably weren't doing.
So
So talk about
So I actually had a conversation with my girlfriend, Chef Chanel. Y'all follow her on IG. She's an awesome chef. I gave her flowers the other day because when we went out of town we went to Essence Festival, and I would record like content on my TikTok, right? Like, and I would just draft it, right? Just so I can have something to go back and add, because, you know, being a boutique owner, outside of just the fashion, you know, what I realized, even being a certified coach, right? Like, what I realized is people like me, my persona, and what I give off, and they want to be able to actually, like, they want to be able to get into the vibes, right? So it's like, okay, I need to be able to kind of give people a glimpse into, you know, why I picked this and why I put this together like this, like just to kind of give that inspiration out there, or insight, more or less. And she saw me doing that, and she was like, don't use that, use CapCut, right? Like, she gave me this app, and I was like, when I talked to her last night, I was like, sis, I just want to give you your flowers right now, because you have changed my whole direction on how
long
I create
ago was
content. This was in July. When I tell you how many videos I got on my phone, baby, I've been popping my reels. I
do a lot of my push-up videos through
CapCut.
Like, as soon as I shoot them, I just do it. Yeah. So
yeah. Well, see, now that's what I'm working on, because what I'm trying to, and it's so funny because I laugh sometimes when I post stuff, because when I do my voiceovers, I literally be in my bed. I be about half asleep, but I get it done. It's like, okay, and this is something I keep saying I'm gonna work on better. It's like,
send me some of them slick voiceovers so I could add it in when you said that.
I bet, cool. Like, I'm gonna do one for today, like my day on Thanksgiving, what that look like. But yeah, like doing those videos, I literally record everything, but I'm very intentional with it.
Right.
There are some things that I still want to keep close to heart. Some things are like, I don't want to share.
Do you ever? That's exactly kind of where I was going. It's funny that you said that. Do you ever feel uncomfortable telling people about your boutique?
Yes.
Or the fact that you be doing stuff for, like, do you still feel weird doing stuff for social media?
So when it comes to dating,
and telling people about it.
So when it comes to dating, yes. When it comes to friends and family, no. Right? Like, because now,
but even I'm talking not even just dating, yes, of course, but even strangers, do you feel?
No, I don't pay people no mind when they be looking at me. Like, I be recording, or, you know, and just me being a open person, like, somebody may look at me and be smiling. I'm like, girl, I'm getting my content. Like, right. Like, even so much as, like, I've seen people looking at me and I'll be like, say hi. Like,
right. Hop in here.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Like, what's your IG? I'm gonna tag you when I do it or whatever. But, you know, I don't feel away, because I feel like I went to the movies the other day and there was some little girls doing TikToks, and I was like, which one y'all doing? I'm gonna get in there with y'all. Like, I feel like it's part of, like, it's normal now.
It's the norm, yeah.
It's very much normal for you to walk outside and be somewhere in public and you see somebody either taking pictures or recording. So me personally, which is, I guess in a sense, is kind of like a blessing. Like, I don't really get embarrassed too easily, you know, so it's just like, I don't care. Like,
okay.
Like, because you probably going to do something that people look at you sideways at, so I don't care if you look at me sideways. Like,
so why don't you like telling men about the men that, you know, you're dating? So why don't you like telling men about what you're doing?
So I feel,
and be real, brutally honest about how you feel about how men react to things, please.
So, okay, so as a woman, let me stop. For myself, I have an aura that shows up in a room before I do, right? Like, and this is something we talk about. We shut up. This is something we talk about often, where I battle with, in a sense, my confidence and humbleness. Like, I know I'm confident. Like, I know who I am. I know what I bring. Yeah. But I just don't like to be boastful about it, because I don't like egotistical people and I don't like arrogance. And for me, it's because I try to stay humble, just because of the simple fact, just as quick as you got it, God can take it away. So I just try to stay, humble with that. So like I said, I have an aura, like, I am me, and I really don't necessarily, too many things don't move me. Thank God. Like, they don't shake me too much for the most part. Like, I'm still human. You can still hurt my feelings about some things or whatever. But outside of that, it don't move me. So I feel like people can sense that. So when you feel that big energy of confidence, right? And it's not arrogance, it's very much confidence. If I tell a man that in my personal opinion, and he's not solid, it shakes it. Cause it's like, she's this beautiful woman. She has a career, her own business, her own car, her own place. Like, what does she need me for? Like, you know, like, and I've had men say that before.
The funniest part is that I feel that men don't care though. Like, you could tell me that, and I still would be like, okay, so. Right. Like, do you like spaghetti or not? Is what I want to know.
Exactly.
Like,
right. But the difference is, like I said, you're solid in the platform and who you are. You're secure in who you are. What I've learned about myself, and my therapist and I talk about this often, is I have a light that God gave me where sometimes, unfortunately, not all the time, I attract broken people, including
So you
men.
saying you be running into broke boys is what
no,
you're saying?
When I say broke, it don't necessarily mean financial, because I run across a few that be having a coin, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like in a sense of like, you know, my friends always joke, right? And when we go places, they know I'm meeting people, because I'm not afraid to go up to people and talk to them, and people, I guess, see again that energy and aura, and they'll approach me. Like, we go somewhere, you best believe I met a friend, right. I met somebody. Right. So like, men will come up to me. I guess, you know, you're a man. Men like confidence, right? Yeah. So it's like, you see that, and it's just like, I remember I met a guy literally in the mall one day, and he just like, you know, stopped me. We were talking or whatever. And he, and me just being me, I think I'm a comedian sometimes or whatever. So we laughing and joking. He like, you mad cool? Where you about to go right now? What store? Like you, now he just want to hang out with me. Like, and I was like, well, I'm going over here in Saks. Where you going? Yeah. I'm gonna go here. All right, well, if you see me in there, whatever. Right. So it just be the energy where some people are okay, some men are okay with that. Right. But I choose not to initially tell them, because I want to just kind of like get the energy, like, ooh, how he gonna take this? Like,
so let's say out of 10 dates, you think out of 10 dates you're dating, out of 10 dates recently, in comparison maybe to a few years ago, do you think you're running into more men that are, for lack of a better word, weaker than maybe the men of old? Because we talked about this yesterday, so I just wanted to get your, you know, quick 2 points on it.
So I will say I can give a perspective from two different views, because I'm not the same woman that I was a couple years ago versus now. So what was weak? You
still got all them bags?
What bags? Which bags?
No, look at you being shy. Okay, all right, okay.
Which bag? No, you talking about like the purse bag?
I'm just, see, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you mean you grew personally?
Yeah,
because the closet is
the closet grew too, but we not. So what I will say is, I feel like I've met different type of weak men in different parts of my life. Okay, because the weak men that I don't even saying weak, it just sounds like so cliche. The men that are not as secure, right, that I meet now are not the same ones from before. Like, and I guess it's more or less because I also notice things differently, because I've grown and evolved. Where something back in the day, say 5 years ago, even before then, right, would not probably have been as much of a red flag. Well, now it's like waving. It's like, oh no, like, so I will say, yes, I do feel like they are a little more on the sensitive side, more or less. But Yeah, this is a different batch. I'm waiting for God to drop the new ones. I'm waiting for the release date. I'm waiting. I'm gonna be in line. Boy, I've never been in line for sneakers or anything, but that's a line that I'm going to be in. Like, what, God? You know, he who finds a wife, so I got to get on my platform, okay?
So it's funny that you said that. Like, are you when you date with intention? Does that mean you're looking to date somebody and get married?
Yes.
So do you present that when you first meet somebody? Do you think that's heavy?
I don't care.
Okay.
Because
what are we here for?
I could buy another outfit. I could go to a different restaurant. I could get another hairdo. I can't get my time back.
Do you believe in marriage? I mean, there's a lot of things out here that says marriage is like walking a plank, man, and there's nothing but sharks out there in the water too. So
But you know, one of my biggest things on my I don't even want to say bucket list, my to-do list in life is to go shark diving, to get in the cage.
You said
get in the cage and where it's in South Africa. What is it, Cape Town? Yeah, to go see the great whites. I'm so fascinated with sharks. But no, I don't think marriage is that though. I think marriage is truly about two totally different people coming together with one goal, and that's to grow together. Okay. I don't truly believe that you have to be in a certain place per se to get together, because I feel like you're continuously, like, your healing and growing journey never ends. Like, because you could be great today and one of life's biggest curveballs can come at you tomorrow and shake you and put you in a different perspective or whatever the case may be. Does that mean you're not ready to be in a relationship anymore? Like, I don't think so.
Did you grow up around marriage?
I did.
So much that's why you think that attracts you? Because a lot of women out here didn't grow up with their pops. And
I had my daddy.
Oh, okay.
I had my daddy. I had my grandfather. I had my uncles. Like, literally, I had a lot of solid men around me.
Do you think that shapes your perspective? Not one on marriage, but just on relationships in general for the better?
I do. My personal opinion, I truly do, because I know of women that their standard of men is different, and that's in my opinion, is because they didn't have that solid ass man around.
The free bodies.
The who?
The free bodies.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but
that mean that they give it up for free.
But you want to know the craziest thing, right?
It's a lot easier for them to allow themselves to get with you than
I can see that. I don't want to put that on nobody, because I still feel like it's will and lessons. I don't want to put that on my good sisters out here, because sometimes you don't know. But she might have just been feeling real, frisky that day.
I think some people have a sexual appetite, but I do
believe that.
And that's higher than others, but I also feel like the lack of a strong father figure in certain instances can allow you to have poor discretion when it comes to how you're going to give your body away to and who you're going to give your body away to.
I don't even think it's just solely body. I think it's what your idea of a man, right? Like, I had a girlfriend, we was having a conversation one day, and my love languages, they're tied. It's quality time and gifts, right? Mm-hmm. Like, buy me things and spend time with me. Me love you long time, right? So one day she was like, no, sis, I think yours is like acts of service, because you always like how a man show up or whatever. And I thought about what she said, and I was like, but that's the bare minimum. Like, he should show up as a man. Like, if he's not showing up as a man, why he around? Like,
so what is that to you?
To me personally, it is showing up to be the innate abilities as a man, meaning being that provider, being that safe haven, to where we're both each other's safe haven, but you're that safe haven that I can come to you and I feel safe, not just in the physical, but mental, spiritual. Like, you are my protector. As much as I am yours, you are mine. You're my provider. You're going to guide me and lead me, although I am someone that's had to take care of myself for a long time, baby, I'm tired. Lead me. I'm tired of making decisions. You tell me when Pepco do. I don't want to know. Like, I don't want to know this anymore. I'm tired.
Not the water bill.
I just want to break my wrist when you're around. Like, yeah, like, you know, in that sense, like, be that.
But there's this whole thing about like what do you do? What do you bring to the table? What does a person provide?
Yes, that is so funny.
And what is like I guess if you get a man like that, how does that relationship get balanced, right? Like in your eyes, perfect example of that.
In my eyes, when you say get balanced, do you mean as far as to like with like their abilities? Like I feel like me personally, I do wholeheartedly think you should know yourself, right? Because how can you say, "Oh, this is what I bring to the table," and that's just like your society list.
So
right?
a man would. I guess what I'm saying is, you said, you know, buy you things in time.
I mean, I know
you was, you know, you was joking, but you know, you want a person who is financially
very much
well off, right?
Very.
Or financially stable at least,
yes.
right?
And financially literate.
Okay. So you get a man with money. Mm-hmm. He has money.
Mm-hmm. And he's smart about it.
And he's smart about it. He could take care of you. But now he don't have the time because money requires time.
Right. Mm-hmm. I'm well aware of it.
Whether you work for it,
mm-hmm.
you know, I work 50, 60 hours and you know what I'm into.
Right.
We here.
Right.
Right? On Thanksgiving.
Right.
Right. So, and then it's or you run a business and you're pretty much always on, and you know that as a business owner. Mm-hmm. So how does that relationship with you being an entrepreneur or a woman making her own money, strong in everything that she does, been taking care of yourself for a long time, how does that work with you and a man who's making money, and time is one of your love languages too? Right. So it's like, how do you balance that, or how do you ideally balance that in your eyes?
So in my eyes, I feel like not such a literal sense time, like every time you have time you have to spend it with me, like no, like I feel like that's unrealistic. It's like spend meaningful time with me. Like it could be something that's like, babe, we could cook together.
I like
we could sit there, cook together, and that's quality time. We cooking together, we talking about our day. You letting me know about this business me, and I'm letting you know about these girls that DM me about this business adventure. Like that's quality time that's uninterrupted and is meaningful. Those are things that we gonna be able to tell, you know, our family members, like, oh, we used to cook together. Like, you know, these are things that when we get old, we can sit back and remember that time we made that lasagna. Like, those are a meaningful time. Like, not just be sitting here and just looking at each other. Like, no, like, I'm the type of person that, again, meaningful, like, I don't want anything just pointless. Just don't spend time just because you feel like that's going to make me happy, because that's not. Like,
right.
Be thoughtful with it. Like, even sometimes it may just be like, babe, I just want to be in your presence. And you know what? You could be on your laptop. I could have my feet across you. Like,
yeah,
that's alone time and peace.
Right.
You know, like, depending on what our schedules are, it could be sometimes, babe, can I tag along and watch you go to your meetings?
Right. So you understand that?
Yes.
Because there was one time I can't remember who it was, but she was like, I expect my man to come to bed every night. And I was like,
no.
I work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like if you really dating somebody, especially if they're trying to get a business off the ground, right? You know, where I'm at, like year 2, year 3, sometimes you're going to be working till 4 to 5 in the morning. You know about that, 6 in the morning.
Yes.
And you started at 5 in the morning.
Be tired.
Right? And you still working. And then you go about whatever you got to do for the business during the day, the very next day.
Very much.
You don't have that time.
Right. I mean, I feel like, and I don't want to speak for anyone else, I do understand in a sense what she means. Like, there's nothing like going to bed and falling asleep in the arms of the man you love. I totally get that. But it's just some days it's just going to be like, and this is me, right? Because I've been single for a while. Like, I'm okay with you not being in the bed right now sometimes. Like, because you do have to kind of like, you, in a sense, have to adjust to that. Like, it could be, So I was engaged before, and I'll never forget. This is something we actually kind of like used to argue about a little bit. Like, he would want to watch TV, and I would want to go to sleep. And I'm used to really not like when I go to sleep, pitch black, dark, everything off,
silence.
So sometimes I would want to go to sleep, or I may want to stay up, and he watched TV, and we had different schedules. So on the days where I used to work like one late night a week, like on my late night, I want to stay up late. And I remember, I think he bought the headphones for the TV, so he didn't have to hear the TV. But it's just like certain things like that. It's just like, yo, that's crazy. But why is this an argument?
But that's a real compromise too, though. Like if you need to go to your partner's watching TV and it's one night a week, why not cop the headphones? Like, look, you bugging. Right. All right, I gotta go bed.
But, or just why is it a problem for them to stay in the living room and watch TV? Like,
true. Yeah, like you don't gotta come to bed. Right.
If you know,
we're not gonna get into that. I want to change gears. We talked about your dating life enough, but family life, like being an entrepreneur and having do you need to take a break? Mm-mm. Being an entrepreneur and having a family, do you think? Because I'm thinking about Tom Brady, so this is crazy. But do you think family should come before your business? Family come before your career.
I'm confused. What happened with Tom Brady?
So Tom Brady, it's old news, but it's still like relevant to me. Is that essentially, it looks a little different now, and I think this is like the third time I'm talking about this. But Giselle is with somebody or dating somebody currently after they got divorced. She was seen with somebody. But it seemed like Tom Brady's job, passion, got in the way. So, yes, I'm talking about relationship, but I'm also thinking about the kids, right? Right. Like family. And a lot of things happen. Do you think, starting a business, do you think family comes before business?
So I feel like yes and no. Right. I feel like no, because no matter if that business succeeds or not, that family's going to always be there. And even with that, they may not always be there. Right. Like we're not even guaranteed the next second, let alone the next day. So I do believe that's where like prioritizing certain things, like I feel like when it comes to, if you're not truly having to work for someone like him, where it's like his schedule is somewhat out of his control, the time that you do have control of, prioritize that like strategically. Right. Make sure that your family still feels a priority. Like, and that's funny because that's actually like a thing for me, like very much a childhood trauma in a sense, but I understand my trauma and I understand what triggers it. Like I understand like, okay, is this the little girl that feel like you're not making me a priority? Yeah. Or are you really pushing me to the back burner? Like understanding that, that issue more or less. But with something like that, I truly believe like if you have control over your schedule, and especially like for someone like me, if my love language is priority, not priority, but quality time, then like, babe, it's been a couple days and you haven't spent any time with me. Yeah. And going to my man and not nagging like, hey babe, so listen, I know you're busy, right? But I need a little bit of attention. You haven't quite gave that to me, so I don't know how you're gonna do it. Right. I'm gonna let you figure it out.
But make something.
But I need a little love over here, okay? And I feel like your partner is going to hear you. Like it's so funny. I feel like it's going to sound weird, but I feel like I was a man in my previous life because I be understanding a lot of things. Like I don't want nobody nagging at me.
I'm sorry, but you was not a man in your previous life.
I know, but I joke and say that because I feel like I understand. And I guess because I have I speak to my dad and my uncles, and I speak to a lot of men.
I think you grow up around it, so you can identify with what's going on. Like, oh, okay, this where it may be coming from. I
understand things a little bit better, but even as a woman growing and going through relationships and evolving through that, it's like, okay, I was nagging like crazy, like versus like I just said, babe. Now I need my time. Right. I know you've been busy.
Right.
I need some attention. I'm gonna let you figure it out, but I need a little love.
Right.
Like, and I'm gonna leave it.
And that's an approach. Like,
right,
hey,
like,
we need some time together.
Right. Like,
what you been doing?
Like,
right.
You ain't saying it. Like, no, I don't. I want so much peace in my life that people think my life boring type thing. Like, because I have experienced a peace that's like so unshattering. Like, you not like my cutoff game is immaculate because you're not about to bother my peace. If I got to figure something out, you are not supposed to be in my life. Not at all. No.
Yeah, but what if you are prioritizing? Like, there's a lot of guys. I mean, you know, Jocko Willenick, Casey Neistat, just a couple of guys I follow. But a lot of people get up at 4 a.m.
To make more time.
To make more time throughout the day. Yep. But, you know, if you're given that much time and it's still not enough, you know, what do you do? Or what if it's a point where you sat your family down and you said, hey, these next 3 to 6 months, I'm going to be extremely busy because I'm working on our future. And not just 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, but our future, your future, your kids' future. I'm working on something that's going to potentially benefit that financially. Right. And you know, the missus is like, cool. No.
Oh no!
I need time. I need you to be around. What am I supposed to do without you? I feel
like that's selfish. Like, sis.
Do you ever? Well, I mean, even just family members, right? Like,
oh, I don't care.
Like, especially when you're responsible.
I don't care.
Outside of your immediate,
I don't care.
Outside of your,
I don't care.
Outside of your immediate home,
my house. No,
you say I don't care what you're doing. You don't
live in this household. Now I will try my best to make sure I reach out. Like, that is boundaries. Like, when you said when I had set my boundaries for my do not disturb, I stuck. I don't feel like being bothered right now. Right. I don't care who you are. I don't feel like being bothered. Right. You call, you're not getting through. Respect my boundary. Like, then we having a different conversation because I told you I don't feel like being bothered. Like, my mom, when I broke it down and explained it to her before, my mom would call me because I take care of things for her, and she would just just throw it out there. Now, hey, are you busy?
Okay.
You got a minute? Yes, okay. Or no, all right, well, call me back because I need to tell you about this. Cool. Right. Like, it's very much.
So you putting that yellow tape up, like, caution.
Listen,
like,
right. Hey, exactly. Whoa. And that little red button, it worked very well. Okay. Right. Okay. It's very much boundaries. I feel like we as people feel like, I was listening to, oh my God, I think it's Affirmations for Black Girls. It was a series. She was talking about like childhood traumas and stuff and boundaries. Yeah. And I feel like I've always had great boundaries. But when I learn more things, I'm like, I'm not that great at it as I thought I was when it comes to certain things and certain people. And one of the things she said was like, when you start telling people no more and you start feeling guilty, it's working. Cause you be like, oh dang, I shouldn't have did that, and it's like,
when
nope.
You start telling people no more,
and you start feeling guilty. It's working.
It's working
because that means you're starting to feel like, dang, did I? And then you'll realize like no.
That when you start telling people no more,
it's start guilty. That's how you know it's working because of the fact that it's literally like you're changing a behavior. Right. So if you're changing a behavior, you're like, for every action there's a reaction. Right. So when you do it and you start feeling different than how you felt before, is you're changing it. You're changing the narrative, you're changing it. And then when you do it, you have like a sense of empowerment, like, ooh, I stood up for myself type thing. Like, and it's a great thing to do. So it's just like, when it came to like my mom, my dad, my brother, like I would always kind of like push like extremely extend myself for them. And I realized like, I don't have to do this. Like, like I don't, like I tell my little brother, all right, I don't want to hear about work today. If we about to talk about this, I'm gonna call you back. If not, we could talk about something else. Like,
so you setting these boundaries, has that allowed you to fast track it a little bit more, do you think?
It does, because it gives me, I never realized how listening to other people problems or even just like the smallest little things, like how much it drains you, because you are literally in a sense taking on that energy.
Wow.
And it's just like, no, I don't want this. So it's just like, if I don't allow that energy that they're trying to put out, then I can't receive it. And if I can't receive it, that means I'm not blocking my creative juices. I'm not blocking my energy levels. Like, because imagine if somebody called you right now and told you that their mother or their father died, right, how would you feel?
I feel like that battery on my back going to take a 20% decrease.
Right. Because now what just happened? Now you just started reflecting on your own parents.
Yeah, that's going to drain a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just,
and that's what I think people don't understand. Like, you know, we always talk about put the battery in somebody's back, but we really are walking around with only a certain amount of energy.
Exactly.
And if you keep exhausting it in different places, that battery going to drain just like on your phone.
Man, when I tell you, I didn't realize how mentally drained I was.
Yeah. Because you be having problems. You be thinking about other people's problems and they not even yours. And people call you with problems and don't have solutions. That's the worst.
That is very much. That is very much the worst.
Last episode, complaining without solutions.
We all want to vent. Like, please speak your mind, get it off your chest. I'm big on that. Like, even if you feel like if you can't talk to nobody, I'm good for getting a voice note just to get it off. My mom taught me that a long time ago. Like, if you got something you want to say, you don't know how to tell it to someone, or you don't feel comfortable saying it, or it's just something weighing heavy on your heart, write it down or just speak it. And I didn't realize it until I tried it one day, and I was like, ooh, that felt good. Like, I got it out rather than like holding that in. So it's just like, no, I'm getting this
I do that
me.
when I'm upset with people. I send them a video message.
That's different.
But it's like I'm talking to you as if
you was in front of me.
You was in front of me, but it's not, I'm not yelling, I'm not fussing, I'm just giving you the real emotion behind this message. Right. So hopefully you see what I'm saying.
Okay, that's different. I like that. I don't want to use the video because my face, it be looking stupid. Yeah. Then a nerve might get struck. You know, I might get triggered. Then a finger go up. You know, so I'm gonna stick to my voice notes because I don't want to do that. That might be good for people who. I have a girlfriend that always tell me that I don't have to say nothing. My face would say it all. So I'm working on that.
Some people just, and I don't think, obviously different strokes for different folks, but sometimes people do not understand what you're saying and the severity of it. Like, I need this done, or I need you to understand that I don't have this time. My patience is low on this, or you have been taking up a lot of time. Stop. What do you want? What do you need from me?
Yeah.
Or like, how can we get it done? Sometimes people don't get that. Like, we've been messaging back and forth for a while. Right. Because everybody a text. Even my mom does this, man. And it gets on my nerves too. Seriously, not to bring Mom Dukes into this, but she'll text me and I'm just like, dog, you never took a texting class. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how much time I have to give to try and figure out what you're saying to me? You know what I mean?
So it's funny that you say that, because I feel like when certain things are being discussed in a text message, if I feel like I need to bring clarity, I will send a voice note rather than a text message, like, what have you. Because my favorite corporate thing to say that I use in all aspects of life is like, because it seems to be a gap in our communication. And I want to build a bridge.
I feel like there's a disconnect here. So
right, like there's a gap in our and I want to. No, my favorite thing is there's a gap in our communication, and I want to build the bridge so we can reach each other. So let me know when you have a few minutes to jump on the phone and we could just talk this out. Like,
so the last thing I wanted to touch on was, we've been doing this a while, and have you felt any envy or jealousy along the way, and how have you handled that?
Yeah. So
you're like, oh, he put me on a
spotlight. I do feel like yes, but it's so weird, right? Because there's been secret competitions that I didn't know anything about, and secret competitions, or just it's so weird because it kind of go back to what I was saying before, like what you stare at in the mirror versus what stares back at you. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of times we don't always see things the same, or sometimes you need a different pair of eyes to look in that mirror with you to get the right reflection staring back. So when things happen and transpire and you just like side eye, like that's a little shady, right, or that's odd, or that's weird, or like that didn't have the best intentions. Like when that come across, like depending on who the person is, my immaculate game kicks in place, that cut off, and I just leave people where they are. Me personally, and some people may agree, some people may not, but for me personally, because I don't want to argue, I don't want to fuss, I would rather have a very open conversation. But I'm not going to bring up certain things to certain people when I know I'm going to be talking to a brick wall. Like they're not going to be receptive. They're going to be defensive. So when I come across those type of people, I just leave them where they at, right? Like I keep it right, immaculate. Mm-hmm. With anyone else, if something comes about, like I'll speak on it. Like, hey, when you said this, like it came across as this way. Am I misunderstanding it?
Right.
Like, and I try not to blame, like, oh, you said this and this, like, this is what you meant. No. When you said this is how it came across to me.
Yeah. I received it this way. Did you mean it that way?
Right. And for the most part, I normally like to have those conversations either in person or on FaceTime, because body language. And I'm never going to tell you when I'm going to have that conversation, right, because I want to catch you off guard. I'm never going to let you prepare for this test that I'm about to give you, right? Like, right. No, I'm not going to do that. I want to see how you respond to it, because how you respond is going to tell me a lot. It's going to tell me basically your body language is going to probably tell me, if you're not a G with it, how you really feel.
Do you feel like the envy and jealousy comes from social media?
I don't know. I feel like yes.
So let me give you a little bit more. The social media puts all these other people on a pedestal, right? Mm-hmm. So although we feel like we can connect with people and it's supposed to bring us closer together, mm-hmm, we see a lot of people doing great things, and it even seems unfathomable. I can't even say that word, but
I know what you mean.
Like it seems like
you can't even fathom that.
Yeah, it just seems like you can't reach it.
Right.
So
unattainable.
When you see somebody that mm-hmm, doing things like these other people, do you think that breeds a little bit of jealousy and envy? Because it's like, I know you ain't doing you can't do what they do. Do you ever think it's that?
I don't think it's social media. It's just their
you don't think it's enhanced it at all?
Yes, it has enhanced it, right? But I don't think that it is
like a determining factor. No, it's just in that person.
It's what they looking at in the mirror, right? Because, like I said when we talked about this before, people don't know how to separate the entrepreneur from the person. Like, because I've grown and I've evolved, you still see me as the person that was 21 years old.
But the person that has Sally's boutique, mm-hmm, or Shaniqua's boutique, mm-hmm, I'm buying from them.
Of course.
I see you got the same thing.
Right. Because you see me as this person. You don't see me as this entrepreneur. That's the difference.
But this person I've never met, but that's
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But it's not even the not buying, it's the not buying in spite of you. It's the not doing things. That's what I'm talking about.
Because it's still that person. Because something about whoever whatever persona or idea that they have of you, that is that.
They feel like you don't deserve it.
For whatever reason, or, right? Like, I definitely try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Do you ever think that people, I'm just going to cut that off. Do you ever think that people don't, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I think, I know.
Do you ever think that people don't think you deserve it?
No, I don't know if they don't think I deserve it, but I know people don't. I know people will go somewhere else before they come to me.
Yes. Do you?
But I don't know if that's because they don't think I deserve it. I can't say. I really don't know what their intentions are, but I see it. But I learned within the first couple of months of starting my business not to take it personal, right?
Okay.
Because of the fact that, like, I've had like friends that forgot I had a business.
True.
Right. Like,
right.
And it's again, because it's like you are James the barber and not James this person. Like, so it's just like, I'm gonna go to Rick Ross website. I'm gonna get that bear stuff, and you're like,
we sell this on my site.
Right. I got it in the shop.
Right.
And literally,
But when it's new, it's got to be new. Like, these habits that certain people have are ingrained in them to purchase from all of these other people, and not you, because you just started this 6 months ago or a year ago, but and they've been doing this for 17 years.
Which is true, but the thing about it is, like, you know me and I talk about it. So how do you forget it, in a sense, right?
If you liked 2 of my posts, you see me all the time.
Right.
So unless you said, don't show me anything like this again.
I mean, that could very well happen too. However, Clever, the thing about it again is, like I said, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, because I can't speak for people and what their true intentions are, because, subconsciously people don't even realize that they don't even like you sometimes, like, because they don't know why, but subconsciously they don't know. They'll do things, and it's just like, I'm a firm believer, like, I pay attention to what people say, because that really tells you, like, what they think of you. Like, and the biggest thing I feel like, the biggest to me, the indicator is what they say, in a sense of a comparison, right? Like, that comparison seed is the root of, jealousy and envy, in my opinion. And all it takes is for you to grow, and it nurtures it.
Yeah.
And you could be genuine. You could be a very genuine person.
I said the other day, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, listen, because they are literally like comparing whatever it may be, because it'd be they can't figure out how you do it, rather than say, teach me how to do it. They can't figure out, how do you get all of this?
Right.
How do you get from point A to point D, and I ain't seen you sweat? Right. And it's just like, certain things I'm not going to share with people. Like, there are certain things that I will share with certain friends that I'm not going to share with others, because of the fact that I know their personalities. Like, some people are going to be like, girl, I just don't see how you did that. Right. Like, versus some friends going to be like, you did that? Sis. Yeah. Like, understanding your audience. Right. Yeah. Like, and we are all like that. But I tell you in a minute, I don't see how you did it. But if it worked for you, it worked for you, right? Like, with certain things,
that couldn't be me,
right?
Yeah, right. And that's knowing yourself too, right?
Exactly. But at the same time, truly understanding and recognizing that what people's intentions are, it varies on the person, the situation. I feel like it even varies on where they're at in life. You may have a homeboy that's happily married, right, and he rooting you on. God forbid he get a divorce a year later, he's the most bitter person in the world.
I don't even know why you still married, dog.
Like, why you even about to marry shorty? That shit don't work. That's for the birds, bro. We out here, we out here clapping cheeks and all of that, like, whatever they be saying, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and then I feel like if you're not conscious of where that person is, then you can kind of like fall in the midst of their sorrows. So it's just like, you know what? Like, I got my friend, I don't care what it is, we celebrating. Right. Girl, you just did what? You put a new stick on your car? We celebrating. Because we appreciate the joys of life. So it don't matter what it is. Yeah. We celebrate.
It's a journey, man. Right, you gotta celebrate.
You gotta celebrate and that's the thing. Get good people around you that celebrate those small wins with you too, and that's not jealous of that. They want to celebrate you, and you want to celebrate them.
So the key to this, and we're gonna end it here, is to just get good people around you.
What?
Set good boundaries, and we're gonna work on getting a good rich uncle for rich auntie. Keep it uplifting. Yes.
Make sure to like, comment, share, and most importantly, keep it uplifting.
Take it up, listen.